it, baby.
Hey, tell him what you told me.
What I tell you?
What you doing it for?
Oh, promotion, baby.
All right. So I ain't gotta
But we should spar.
I ain't gotta up.
We should
Yes, I
spar.
want to show the world that I'm the best. After this fight, I want to be considered top 5 pound-for-pound fighter in the sport, and I can't wait to show it.
You said this week that you were in for a rude awakening when you get to 140. What do you think he's in for when he goes up against you?
I think he just don't realize how good I am. I think come fight night, he's going to realize that I'm going to take it to another level that he has never seen before. So if he's expecting the Lomachenko, the Josh Taylor fight to happen, it won't be that type of fight. Senior, tell him. We talking to Senior. We ain't talking to little dude over here. Senior.
Every fight is a different version of me.
I know.
And I love it because even the people out there don't know what they're going to get from me. And that's the beauty about it. He could be studying, he could be doing a lot of things, but he's not going to know till the day of the fight.
Terence Crawford delivers a serious warning to Teofimo Lopez, making it clear that underestimating Shakur Stevenson would be a costly and dangerous mistake.
Sky's the limit with Shakur. No, he got the boxing skills and the ability to, do whatever he wants in the ring. And it's going to be very hard to beat Shakur, with the skills that he possesses and the smarts that he has, and given the opportunity, I think he can pose a great threat to everybody in the division.
I look up to Bud a lot. Honestly, he one of the realest dudes that I done met. He's still a normal person in his head. Like, he don't believe that he's above everyone else. That's how I feel about myself.
You seen me around a lot. Oh, no. Don't act like you ain't seen me around. Not them days. He said not them days.
Bud, come on. Terence talking, I try not to talk back. I try to just listen and
straight, boom, straight shot. Like right here, boom, there you go. But you got to make sure you step. Bam. That's when the motherfucker trying to run out.
Crawford explains that Shakur's timing, accuracy, and ring IQ are extremely dangerous at the highest level. He believes Shakur's defense is designed to set traps that lead to clean counters, and warns that if Teofimo rushes or becomes reckless, Shakur can seriously hurt him and possibly knock him out.
All of them, it don't matter who they is. He ready for the big test and the big names, and he's going to do well with each and every one of them. And
in another instance, Crawford confronted Teofimo Lopez directly, creating a tense moment. He challenged Lopez's mindset and questioned his approach toward Shakur Stevenson, making it clear that underestimating Shakur's abilities could have serious consequences inside the ring. Terence Crawford confidently stated that Shakur Stevenson will demonstrate his full capabilities when the moment arrives. He believes Stevenson's discipline, timing, and defensive awareness set him apart from other top-level fighters. Crawford explained that once Shakur is in the spotlight, everyone will witness his skill, patience, and control, clearly showing why he is regarded as one of the most complete fighters in boxing today. He also reflected on Stevenson's previous fights to highlight his growth and consistency.
He was sharp. He was letting his hands go. He was standing in the pocket more. He probably got hit just a little bit too much because he was trying to please everybody that's saying, oh, he can't do this, he can't do that. I talked to him and told him, just be yourself. Just keep winning. It doesn't matter what the naysayers say and what the people that's having certain agendas against.
Dan Kenobi and Chris Algieri break down the Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson matchup, examining both business and boxing perspectives. They explain that Matchroom controlling the Joshua card makes a PBC crossover unlikely. They suggest that if Teofimo loses, Shakur will remain at 140 pounds and not drop back to 135, which is rare. The analysts view 140 as a fun and deep division, noting that Stevenson struggles least against brawlers and is truly tested by counterpunchers. making some matchups unlikely despite strong fan interest.
Card, so therefore we're not going to put a PBC fighter on it. Anyway, Gary Antoine, I mean, all these fights are good. Like, if Teofimo ends up losing to Shakur goes into this mix, and I do think Shakur will stay at 140 for a little bit. So, and you also have
I think he stays from now on. I don't think he goes back to 35.
Yeah, it's very rare we see these guys go down after they go up. You got to add in Shakur, you got to add in Pitbull Cruz, you got to add in Lamont Roach. There's some other good names on 140 as well, but yeah, I would say Smith presents something to this puzzle at 140 is that he's from England and he can sell over there. And if you're Hitchens, who's not the biggest ticket seller here in New York, and you want a unification, and you think you can beat Dalton Smith, you might have to go overseas to do it, where you could make a lot more money. Gary Antoine Russell versus Smith stylistically is great. Shakur versus Dalton Smith is stylistically great. Shakur, it's just a fun division.
I don't want to see that.
What?
I don't want to see Shakur and Dalton.
I put that one at like 1% chance of ever happening.
I don't want to see that.
Even though, like, you don't think Smith presents like he's more of like would be the brawler in the Shakur scenario. I know he would be.
Yeah, that's the
Shakur
worst style to fight
wildly...
Shakur. It's the worst style. You have to counterpunch Shakur. Just like with De Los Santos. He was the guy who gave Shakur the most trouble.
But Zepeda gave Shakur the best, most aesthetically pleasing fight, but not that Smith's going to throw 100 punches around.
Completely different style, though. Zepeda and Dalton aren't you can't compare them. That's apples and oranges. Yeah, no, I don't know.
But in terms of a guy coming forward.
But is Dalton really...
Analysts suggest that the size difference could be decisive in a Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez fight. Shakur is naturally bigger, with a longer frame, broader shoulders, and a stronger base. Even though Teofimo is the champion at this weight, moving up has not diminished Shakur's strength or control, and his body appears fully settled at 140 pounds. Analysts emphasize that size is not just about weight, but about leverage, balance, and how a fighter carries mass. Shakur's height, reach, and composure allow him to control distance and slow the pace of the fight, while Teofimo relies on explosive bursts of power, which become harder to land cleanly against a bigger, disciplined defender. If Shakur uses his size to lean, control space, and wear Teofimo down, the dynamics of the fight could change dramatically.
Is bigger than Teofimo Lopez, despite him moving up in weight and despite Teo being the champion. We got some action, and in this video I'm going to show and prove and break it down. I'll make it make sense in this video. You got to stay to the end. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Ego Weight Watchers, aka Ew, where I give you a look into the fighter's lifestyle before, after, progress pics, especially when they have an upcoming fight. I warned you, Shakur, I have no idea why he tried to play this.
Bernie, the boxer, offers a detailed perspective on why Shakur Stevenson stands out against Teofimo Lopez. He emphasizes that Stevenson is a fighter who cannot be underestimated or easily contained. Unlike many boxers who rely mainly on brute strength or one-dimensional tactics, Shakur's approach is multifaceted, blending technical precision with strategic intelligence, which makes him unpredictable in the ring. Bernie notes that opponents often misjudge Shakur, assuming his calm demeanor and controlled style signal a lack of aggression or threat. In reality, Shakur's ability to adapt and read his opponent allows him to exploit openings instantly. This combination of patience, timing, and skill gives him a distinct edge, presenting fighters like Teofimo Lopez with a competitor who is not only talented, but also exceptionally disciplined in executing his game plan.
He couldn't beat a one-handed guy. And if you go back and watch that fight, like I'm saying, Shakur wasn't just running. Jermaine Ortiz really moved a lot on Teo. That never happened with Shakur Stevenson and fighting this guy. That never happened. So De Los Santos is De Los Santos. He got a reputation off of that. That boosted his reputation. I don't know why. He didn't do nothing to Shakur. He didn't wobble him, didn't hurt him, didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? And the man was one-handed. So, but shout out to De Los Santos. Like I say, I think he's more risk than reward. Actually, That'll be a great fight for Abdullah Mason in his first title defense. That'll be a great fight for him in his title defense. That'll be a good. They should use him for that.
Instead of Joe Cordina?
Yeah. Joe Cordina was rough too, though. I watched him against the kid from Fresno. What's the kid's name? I forget his name. They was pushing him, but he just ain't there. He took a lot of punishment. He probably need to go get a job. Gabriel Flores. Gabe Flores. Yeah. Gabe Flores.
From Vegas,
Yeah. He from Fresno. Or he from Sacramento. He from the Bay Area.
He just be training. Yeah, he be training.
Yeah. So I would say I would say that, you know what I mean? Because Abdullah Mason is the guy. You know, I think he got a lot of potential. And like I said, you know, him fighting a guy like De Los Santos is almost like a Bud fighting Gamboa in his first title defense. You know what I mean? So that would be a great fight for Abdullah Mason. You know what I mean? And he's more known than Joe Cordina. You know what I mean? And given the controversy that he's been in, you know what I'm saying? The way he's perceived as kind of feared, that'll be a great fight for Abdullah Mason.
Damn, my boy Bernie said that's like Gamboa versus Crawford for his first title defense.
Terence Crawford adds another perspective by praising Shakur Stevenson in a supportive and brotherly way. He notes that while some spectators might call Shakur boring, this overlooks the depth of his talent. Stevenson's mastery in the ring is subtle yet profound, allowing him to control the flow of a fight, make strategic decisions that keep him safe, and position himself to exploit opponents' mistakes. Crawford emphasizes that true boxing fans recognize the brilliance behind Shakur's technique, which goes beyond flashy moves or knockouts. It is his calculated precision, defensive intelligence, and measured aggression that define him, and Crawford is confident that anyone who underestimates Stevenson is missing the full picture.
Are you saying that because that's your man and you don't like Tank?
No. Hey, like I said, I respect Tank. Boxing, he's one of the ones.
Yeah.
we gonna take his personality and personal things out of it. But boxing, he's definitely talented. You know what I mean? And he's definitely got that it. And he's definitely respected in boxing. But Shakur is a different fighter. You know, Shakur is different. You know, people may call him boring. People may say he can't punch. But they say the same thing about Floyd. Because
Shane Mosley weighs in, emphasizing how styles will shape the outcome of the fight. He explains that power, speed, and patience all play crucial roles, and how these attributes interact will determine who dominates. Mosley notes that Shakur's patient approach allows him to neutralize raw aggression, while Teofimo's explosive power and timing can challenge even the most composed opponent. The key, he argues, is how effectively each fighter can impose their strategy while adapting to the other's strengths, making the fight not just a test of skill, but also of tactical intelligence.
Where Teofimo can hit him. Maybe he was really fast at 130, 26-30, maybe 35, but 40, you put on a little bit more weight. Shakur Stevenson has a very strong style where he can sit back and pot shot you and box and stuff like that, where Teofimo can also box and is very athletic and can get from side to side and can make things difficult for you as well. So what style is going to impose on the other is what we want to see.
So which style will impose? Is it something where like the first rounds really will dictate, or?
I think you're going to need a couple of rounds, but the first round is going to be very interesting. Maybe you see some tails, but I think maybe 2 or 3 you're going to start seeing one leave the other. Because I don't think that, well, maybe, I mean, Shakur might show some different, if he has to go after Teofimo, he might show some different type of heart that we haven't seen or different type of fighting we haven't seen. And vice versa, you know, whereas Teofimo was hitting him with different shots off the angle that is kind of giving, you know...
Boxing analyst Wade examines the matchup through the lens of preparation and study, noting that both Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson have likely spent significant time analyzing each other's styles due to their similar paths through amateur and professional boxing. This mutual familiarity makes adjustments and counters critical. Wade emphasizes that both fighters possess the technical foundation to execute complex strategies, turning the bout into a chess match in the ring where minute adjustments and split-second decisions could ultimately determine the outcome.
They operate better. So if Teo is saying, I'm going to go out there and make you quit, essentially break you and stop you, that's something we haven't even seen. We haven't seen anyone get close to even hurting Shakur. Really. Zepeda hit him with the right hand, and Shakur got wobbled, even though it was clearly slipped. One of Shakur's better performances because he dug down and bit down on his mouthpiece and said, I'm not just going to play the back foot and be slick and turn this into a very low output fight that I'll win because I'm just, he's better than Zepeda. But he went out a little bit, and I respected him for it. I don't expect him to fight the same way versus Teofimo Lopez. I really don't. And I think people are looking at the Zepeda fight and going, yeah, that's Shakur we want. And I don't want to say he's going to disappoint people, but he will not fight that way with Teo. He won't. And Teo won't fight the same way William Zepeda did. They'll both be very measured. I think it'll be a very slow-paced, low-output fight. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I could see maybe they go to war or something, but we're talking about styles making fights, and Teo's style, even if he doesn't commit to a lot of punches on the front foot, but he can fight that way. Most exclusively wants to go defense to offense versus leading the exchange. So I don't know. Not to say Shakur will be on the back foot the whole time. That's not necessarily how I see the fight going, but I don't know if this is going to be like a knockdown, drag him out type of thing. I think we're going to get a defensive, sweet science display from both guys, which, by the way, I think works in Shakur's favor.
You said on there that Terence Crawford sent one of his little guys to come after you.
Lamont Roach highlights Stevenson's mastery of the ring, praising his precise footwork, timing, and anticipation, which allow him to dictate the pace and flow of a fight. Roach explains that controlling the ring goes beyond movement. It involves creating angles, maintaining balance, and setting traps for opponents. Shakur's skill in these areas enables him to conserve energy while forcing adversaries into disadvantageous positions. By controlling space and timing, he can pressure fighters like Teofimo Lopez without overcommitting, demonstrating why Stevenson is regarded as a tactically superior boxer at this stage of his career.
I'm considered one of the best in the world.
Did, and that was a hell of a performance too. A hell of a performance too. So yeah, I think he's hit or miss. You got to think he got stuff. He a little cuckoo too. Like he has like a little mental lapses every once in a while. Look at the Kambosos fight. Like that's a fight that people would never expect Kambosos to win, and he won a grueling match against him as well. So I just I don't know. I don't think he can get it done against Shakur when it comes to because it's going to be just a skill match. I don't think he's going to try to rough Shakur.
Paulie Molina G provides insight into the perception of Teofimo Lopez leading into major fights, noting that he often faces criticism and is sometimes underestimated, especially against a high-profile fighter like Shakur Stevenson. She explains that this disparity in attention and reputation can shape public expectations and media narratives, but it does not diminish Lopez's abilities. Instead, it adds a mental challenge for both fighters. The high stakes, combined with Stevenson's technical mastery and Lopez's determination, set the stage for a compelling matchup where preparation, skill, and psychological resilience will all be crucial in determining the winner.
Teofimo is at his most dangerous when he's counted out. And this is going to be one of those fights where he's going to be counted out. Because Shakur is looked at by and large as the guy who can dominate boxing in this generation, right? It's just a matter of him getting the opportunity. I myself have felt that he's the guy who could and should be dominating boxing if he gets the right matchups. But bro, this is one of the rare matchups, if not maybe the only matchup, where I feel like is a big threat here to Shakur. And then it would all come undone because of this reason. Teofimo Lopez, we've seen him at his best, but he typically brings out his best characteristics when he's back against the wall and he's counted out. And he's going to be counted out in this fight. By and large, people are going to side with Shakur in this fight to win the fight because he's the more consistent fighter, he's the more class fighter overall, and he's just...
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned, and we'll see you next time.